What is up, guys? Andrew with No Excuses TV here, and today the video that we have for you is a fly tying video, but it's not one that I've actually tied. Oh, I've tied the fly, but this is not me tying it. So when I first got into fly tying, I bought the Scientific Anglers like beginner fly tying kit, right? And so the thing that they sent, they had all the materials with it. They also sent a DVD of the instructions how to tie the fly. So the problem is I didn't have a DVD player whenever I got this, and so I had a big struggle trying to figure out how to learn the techniques. And so I emailed. They told us that there's plenty of stuff on YouTube to figure out how to tie those the flies that they were in that video. The problem was I couldn't find one that lined up exactly with the materials that they had provided. So it would have required me to buy more materials or use other stuff. Excuse me, and I didn't want to do any of that. So what I did is I went through and broke all of the videos down for their specific flies, and that's what you have here. And so this is specifically for the Scientific Anglers beginner fly tying kit. It's the video that goes with it in case you don't have a DVD player. Here you go. Again, I'm not going to monetize any of this because it's not my material, but I'm wanted a place online that I could reference this and a resource instead of having to rely on having a DVD player, which as we continue to move forward is going to be less and less common. And so if you need one, here you go. So anyway, hope you liked the video. They did a great job tying this fly. Make sure you like this video. If you want other content that's not specifically fly tying, but just fly fishing, outdoor, hiking, camping, rock climbing related, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the click the notification bell so you never miss the next video.
Welcome to Introduction to Fly Tying. My name is Greg Vinci, and I'll be your instructor who will take you on a journey that will provide you skills and knowledge that will greatly enhance your fly fishing experience. Though this video will provide you with all of the basic skills, there's not enough time in this video to go over the fine points of tying flies. I strongly recommend that you get some personal instruction whenever possible. Instruction can be found at fly fishing shows, fly club meetings, and at your local fly shop. Now we're going to learn the parts of the fly. They are the tail, the abdomen, the thorax, and the legs. The tools that we'll be using are the bobbin threader, hackle plier, half-hitch tool, scissors, and hair stacker. The thread spool is attached by snapping it in between the arms of the bobbin. We then take the bobbin threader and insert it into the tip of the bobbin so that it protrudes from the base. Then we take the end of the thread and insert it into the protruding wire loop of the bobbin threader. Finally, pull the loop up through the tube and out of the tip. In order to even the hairs of the clump of elk hair we use for hairwing flies, such as the elk hair caddis we will tie later in the video, we use a device called the hair stacker. We begin by cutting a clump of elk hair or deer hair that we are using to tie our hairwing fly. It is important to brush the hair to remove the underfur so that the hair packs evenly in the hair stacker. Now place the tips of the hair into the flared top of the hair stacker and push down. To remove the packed hair, we slowly rock the flared tube of the hair stacker while gradually removing it from its base. It helps if you hold the hair stacker with the base slightly elevated. The hackle plier are used to facilitate handling of delicate materials such as hackle when being wound onto the fly. Squeeze the pliers between your thumb and forefinger and clip the jaws onto the tip of the hackle, and then gently wrap the hackle around the shank of the hook. Be careful not to put pressure on the hackle as it will easily break. The pattern represents a whole array of mayfly larvae, and depending on the size, can mimic everything from the tiny blue wing olives to the giant green drakes. The materials and tools we will use to tie the pheasant tail are the pheasant tail feather, copper wire, hook, peacock herl, scissors, half-inch tool, and the bobbin and thread. The first step in tying the pheasant tail, as with all the other flies on this DVD, is to begin by wrapping the thread from behind the eye of the hook back towards the bend. You're going to stop at a position roughly right above where the barb of the hook is located. At this point, we're going to cut about a 1/16 of an inch clump of pheasant tail barbules, which consists of maybe about 6 or 7 strands, and we're going to tie them in at the tail, with of course the pointed ends pointing to the rear. The length of the tail is going to be about 1/3 of the distance from the eye of the hook back to the bend. We take a couple wraps to secure the tail to the shank. Now we're going to tie in a section of copper wire. Copper wire is going to be used as the ribbing and to add a little flash to the fly. Keep in mind we're tying the materials so that they point to the rear of the hook, not towards the front of the hook. Okay, we're wrapping forward, and we're going to wrap back to the eye. Now we'll take the butt ends of the section of pheasant tail that we use for the tail and use them to wrap forward towards the eye. And we're going to stop about 1/3 of the way back from the eye. We'll take a couple wraps of thread to secure the pheasant tail to the shank, and we'll trim off the loose ends. Now we'll take the copper wire and we'll wrap it forward over the pheasant tail wraps. But we're going to take wide wraps of wire, maybe only 3 or 4, so that they overlap the wraps and secure the pheasant tail to the shank of the hook. Cut about a 1/4 inch clump of pheasant tail and place it about 1/3 of the way back from the eye of the hook, with the tips facing to the rear. I'd like to use the dark-hued portion of the pheasant tail, as it will give the wing case the look of a nymph getting ready to hatch. Secure the pheasant tail with several tight wraps of thread. Next, tie in a couple strands of peacock herl, just in front of where you tied in the pheasant tail for the wing case. Now wrap the peacock herl forward to about 1/16 of an inch behind the eye, and then secure with thread. At this point, we'll tie in the legs. Cut about 3 or 4 pheasant tail barbules and tie in so that they splay to the side of the hook shank or fly. The length of the legs should be about equal to the shank of the fly. Do the same thing again to attach the legs to the opposite side. Finally, pull the wing case over the wrapped pheasant tail herl and secure with several wraps of thread. Make several tight wraps forward to the eye of the hook and finish off with 3 half hitches. At the very end, add a couple drops of head cement to the wraps. And there you have it. You now have all the skills necessary to embark on a lifetime of tying flies. When you're on the stream, remember to pinch your barbs, release your fish, and keep our waterways clean.